Music 101 with your host, Alexxis Steele. Sponsored by Steel Notes Magazine. You can find them at the web, folks, at www.steelnotesmagazine.com.
Hi, this is Alexxis Steele with Music 101. It gives me great pleasure to bring to you this evening Hugo Ferreira, lead vocalist for Tantric. How you doing tonight, Hugo?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's things in your neck of the woods?
Wonderful. Finally getting kind of back on the road. So, moving along as to be expected.
That's good. So where are you living at right now?
I alternate between Florida and the East Coast.
Okay.
Or whose ever house I'm staying at. Because sometimes we'll just have some gigs in the middle of nowhere, and it'll only be 4 days till the next gig, and it's not worth flying home for 4 days because you end up just blowing all your cash on air travel, especially now with all fuel just skyrocketing. So, luckily, Tantric probably tours more than I'm pretty sure most people. But we just know people everywhere because we're literally on the road 24/7.
Oh, wow.
So we always figure out a way. There's always someone who's got an open table for Tantric.
Well, there you go. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Get around. Okay. Well, I'm going to give some of our listeners a little background on you throughout your life here. So, Hugo, did you grow up in Angola?
No. I was actually born there, just kind of like a military type of thing. I mean, my parents resided in a Portuguese sovereign Angola for 10 years. So, kind of like, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico is the United States. It was like just a sovereign of the country. I am Portuguese, but I'm an American citizen, and I've lived here my whole life, alternated a couple of times between here and Europe. But I wasn't hanging out in Angola, because I was basically born there and just shipped here. But yes, there's some truth to that, I guess.
Okay. All right. So growing up, your parents, were they into music too? I guess.
For sure. My dad more so than my mom. But yeah, I grew up in the East Coast in Boston suburbs, pretty much 0 to 18. I was there, grew up in a small town there, Hudson, Mass. And I still have roots there, very strong ones, and I still love a lot of people that are from there. And I have a lot of family there. Nuno Betancourt, a fellow musician, is from there. So it's a cool little town. But there was music all around me, whether it was my parents, my dad, he also plays some instrumentation, my grandfather did. So it was kind of the thing to do, if you were playing sports, you were playing sports. If you're playing music, you're playing music, and there wasn't much to do, so you kind of got good at it.
Right. So it was interesting. I saw that you used to listen to big band music.
Still do. Yeah. I mean, my dad and my mom are, Europeans living in America that are American citizens. But for the most part, the culture is very European. And so I kind of grew up with this really vast spectrum of music. But I've always loved, I'm a crooner myself. I just do it in rock and roll. But I've always been a big fan of, when somebody does music right. It doesn't necessarily have to be any particular genre,
Okay. So
there's bad and good of everything, even mariachi.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, yeah, mariachi. I can believe that. So who is your favorite big band?
I don't have really favorite bands or favorite artists or favorite any of that shit. I'm more of a fan of a moment or a song or a piece of art than I am a fan of the human guy in it, meaning, I'm not a fan of just everything that one person does,
Yeah.
So I decided a long time ago to never say it like, my favorite artist is, because it wouldn't be accurate. But, like, let's just say that I don't like Blue Oyster Cult, and I do like Fear the Reaper. Is that, they're the ones who sing that, right? For sure. But, like, I'm a huge fan of that song, but wasn't a fan of much anything else. So I'm like a fan. But I did grow up with Count Basie and obviously Sinatra and my parents. I'm a fan of like the musicals that I grew up with, all of them, all the classics and good. So like music was around me in so many different ways that I just, even Mozart was like a catchy tune to me as a kid. So like I was grew up listening to classical rock, hip hop, Portuguese music,
So you learned how to play guitar, play piano when you were young?
Yeah, probably. That was probably my first instrument. I was probably like 4 when I picked that up. But I don't really remember being alive and not knowing how to play.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've always been doing something.
Yeah. I
That's
do
cool.
remember the first time my parents got me what would now be, I guess, that time's version of a keyboard. And they bought it in a yard sale. But my dad played accordion, and he was really prolific at it, and still is. And he's a badass. And he used to like twist it sideways for an accordion. Accordion is, obviously this. Right. You would push it sideways, and I'd be screwing around and playing it like a piano, and then it just kind of got into that. Then it was really easy. I mean, when you love to do something, you do it over and over and over again. And whether you're aware that you're rehearsing or practicing it's irrelevant. But I did a lot of it. I played a lot, but I picked it up really quick. Then once I understood music, the creative aspect of it kind of took over.
Okay, so I see that you're a big fan of some of the '90s artists that I was also a fan of, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden.
Yeah. They were the best of their time, I would say. There's, then in every decade of music, there's just people that just that kind of like were the spearheaders of that style or music, and those bands like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam,
great harmonies.
Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, now your dog has something to say about it.
He's like, into the flood again. Right? Wow. All right.
So now, from a vocal standpoint, basically, who's your biggest influence vocally?
So here's the thing, I like different vocalists a lot, and I have a very low range. I'm a baritone, with maybe a little bit of a tenor in there. But so I grew up liking a lot of singers that I could never ever emulate, So I just don't have the voice for it, But kind of like, so I would gravitate towards other people that have really deep voices like myself and raspy voices. And kind of like, I remember as a kid, like just checking out how these people kind of like integrated that into like rock and pop and all that. And kind of, I guess, if you take all those, when people emulate other people in music or in art, when they're like, they're influenced by people, it's just when they absorb all, they absorb all of it at first, and then they just take the pieces that really resonate with them, and that's how it influences their own music. But yeah, man. So, I guess the Who Who was my favorite, and Who like I listened to a lot. And again, it's so across the board I couldn't even name anyone, but I'm definitely, all the greats are there. Lane Staley to Frank Sinatra to Eddie Vedder to you name it.
Okay, so were you just self-trained, or did you have any formal training?
I was self-trained, But after I got my first record deal, I took some lessons and just to kind of like hone it in and just to know how to do it correctly, because you know, taking singing lessons is not necessarily mean that you need singing lessons on how to sing on pitch, or whatever. Just to make sure that you're singing properly, so you can repeat it every day. Because if you're singing 2 hours a day at performance level, if you're not doing it right, you'll blow out your voice very, very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Do you warm up your voice before a gig?
Kind of, not really. I would say not really. Like I'll test it. Let's just say I'll test it a little bit. But the way that I generally will write my set list, I'll write it in a way that is, obviously entertaining, but at the same time that like it like these first few songs are kind of good warm-up songs anyways. They're not like bangers where you're just like, blowing some difficult notes. So by the second or third song that you were singing, these songs are more like, right there in the warm spot. And by the time you're third song in, you're at full blast. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah, I'm a vocalist too, but personally for me, if I'm doing a gig, I definitely have to warm up my voice prior to it.
Yeah. I've got a pretty resilient voice.
For me, because I have to hit highs, so.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I've noticed everybody's different. I don't think any one way works over another. I think that the best way of keeping your voice sounding great is just the obvious shit,
Right.
Don't put crap in your body, and make sure you get some sleep,
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. Sleep definitely.
Sleep and eat, it's pretty much what gets a good performance at anything. It's like if you get some good sleep, you don't put crap in your body, you're bound to, and you eat good, you're bound to be at tip-top shape.
Okay. So how old were you when you actually started performing in your first band?
I guess I've been performing my whole life. Just maybe not in front of an audience always, but I was always and have always been the person that wants to come with the gift of song or some shit like that. But yeah, man, I've been doing that, but maybe like since like I was like 14, I think it's really when I started like doing pro gigs.
Okay.
Like right around there.
All right.
And I've been pretty much been doing it ever since. I was thinking about how useless I would be if I didn't play music, but I haven't really had any other jobs,
Okay. So tell me about your connection, how the whole thing started with Tantric. All right. So I guess the band itself was formed in 1998 with former Days of the New members.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll make it simple. It's, it's like it's probably the least important part of the whole story, but yes. So basically there used to be a band called Days, and basically I shared the same three players, but Travis had his deal. He was the singer for Days, and he wrote those songs, and I was in Tantric, and it was a whole different, set of songwriting and different guys. I mean, I write 95%, I guess, all the songs, and lately more so the other guys above me, but in the beginning Todd did as well. But yeah, so that was really it. But they in the timeline that we're at, that was like only the very, very beginning, because that incarnation only lasted till about 2000. It was 2006.
Okay. All right. So now, with this current lineup that you have right now, it's Sebastian LeBar, he's running the bar. Is it Jaron Galino? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Jaron Galino and John Laurie.
And John Laurie. Okay.
Yeah. All Pennsylvania boys almost, except for one Joyce guy.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. So one is from, I think, Downingtown. Is that a place?
Yeah, Downingtown. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then one of them is from Media. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
So,
they're
like,
like
you know,
offshoots of Philly. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, Portia. Yeah, she's a Philly. I'm by default. I go there as well a lot now because, like,
Okay.
you know, I pick them up or whatnot. We end up there for being there.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
not
then,
bad.
when did okay, so you have a new CD that came out, The Sum of All Things. When did this CD come out?
I'm not good with dates, but I want to say like summertime, maybe.
Okay, so
Not that long ago.
all right,
Maybe
so
like
this past summer it came out.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you have a couple singles that's on your new CD. We're going to take a listen.
We have some videos for those songs that we did too. One of them is Living Here Without You, and then the other one was Walk That Way.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a listen to Living Here Without You by Hugo.
All right.
And we're going to be right back on Music 101.
I'm wrapped around your finger, that's where you will find. And I can't remember, I was left behind. I'm wrapped around your finger, like I was before. But you can't remember, I'm at your door. But I can't be the one who sits here all alone. You don't know that I exist here, but I'm home. I'm waiting for you to come around. There's nothing I won't do to hear the sound of your voice as it whispers my name. I'm living here without you, but it is not the same. I'm living here without you, driving me insane. I'm living here without you, who's the one to blame? It's the sum of all things I'm sharing with you. I'm remembering this short time with you, and this misunderstanding where they cut our life short. There's no happy ending in this story. But I can't be the one who sits here all alone. You don't know that I exist here, but I'm home. I'm waiting for you to come around. There's nothing I won't do to hear the sound of your voice as it whispers my name. I'm living here without you, but it is not the same. I'm living here without you, driving me insane. I'm living here without you, who's the one to blame? You don't have a thought in your body, you gotta break some. You don't have no thought in your mind, you better make some. Time behind the line of a war that you never face some. Separate by the truth that was told, you gotta face them. Whoa, so we have the sum of all things. Peaceful life and everything it brings. I'm wrapped around your finger, that's where you will find. And I can't remember, I was left behind. I'm waiting for you to come around. There's nothing I won't do to hear the sound of your voice as it whispers my name. I'm living here without you, but it is not the same. I'm living here without you, driving me insane. I'm living here without you, who's the one living here without you, but it is not the same. I'm living here without you, it's driving me insane. I'm living here without you, who's the one to blame?
All right, we're back on Music 101, speaking with Hugo Ferreira, lead vocalist for Tantric.
Hello.
We were just discussing one of his singles off of this new CD, that the sum of all things, called Living Here Without You. Now, this new music off the CD, do you do most of the writing for that, or is this like a whole band collaboration?
I would say I do all of the writing as far as, you know, vocal parts and lyrical and all that aspect. And then on there were some songs here that everybody kind of contributed, but you know, everybody contributes to the molding of the song after it's, you know, it's written, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have a tour right now going on that's supporting this CD?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the good thing about Tantric is if you're a fan, we're always playing. So yeah, we're on tour pretty much all the time. So yeah, just go on our Facebook page, or, you know, Google it. I'm sure they'll pop up.
Okay. All right. So basically the band's always out there. So, you know, no matter, you know,
we have
time, you'll hear the new stuff coming through.
Yes.
Okay. So, let's see, we're going to talk about the next song that you have, the next original that you put out, the next, hold on, pause, getting tongue-tied. That's a nice song. I know, right? Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about the next single that you have off your new CD. And
yes, it's called Walk That Way.
Not to be confused with Walk This Way, right?
No.
Okay. We're going to take a listen.
Walk That Way.
Walk That Way.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a listen to Walk That Way, and we're going to be right back with Hugo Ferreira from Tantric.
Just to push and feel some other thing, something that needs to be nearer, closing and feeling it clearer, closer, even closer than I shiver to think. I see a way to get under, a way to feel it, I wonder. Closer, even closer, it's all I ever do. Slower, take it slower, until I'm done with you. Hey, walk that way, two can play that game. Hey, walk that way, aren't we all too late? The seeker, I'm the seeker of the sum of all things. You see the closer I'm getting, I see the lady shedding. Weaker, even weaker than I thought it should be. Well, I'll play the cards that I'm holding, I'll hold the hand that you're folding. Closer, even closer, it's all I ever do. Slower, take it slower, until I'm done with you. Desperate times, I need a sign, give it to me. Just walk that way, I fall in line, behind, give it to me. Just walk that way.
All right, we're back with Hugo Ferreira, lead vocalist for Tantric. We're talking about the new CD, The Sum of All Things. We just listened to Walk That Way. So now, how many songs do you have on this new disc?
Man, I don't even know off the top of my head, but generally it's about probably around a dozen.
Okay, so about 12 songs. All right.
I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm in the band and I write everything, but I don't know anything about it. I just don't know. I don't know off the top of my head how many songs are on there, but generally I do about that, you know.
So now, how long does it typically take you to put together the material for a CD?
Man, I think that I got so much material that I've already written, and I'm always writing, so not that long at all. You know, not at all. You know, you get more excited about certain songs than others, but it's like it all happens pretty quick. And generally, we as a band know if the song sucks or is worthy of just getting cut or not, because we do record some stuff, and we're just like, yeah, you know, that's it just didn't translate well or something, you know. So it didn't work away, and that we just kind of leave on the floor.
Okay.
And then
So
somehow people on YouTube find them.
So you have a lot more material right now that you could be putting another CD out.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. I mean, you know, I'm probably going to be putting music out all, you know, as long as I live and I have a passion for music, I'll always do it, whether it's under the umbrella of a label or whatever it is at the time. But I'll always write music. You know, I still play music for the same reason that I played when I didn't make any money doing it. You know, it's just because it was fun and I loved it, and it was just my calling. You know,
Right.
So you know, I love to do that, and I kind of feel now that if you make it, they will come. You know, people kind of like to go. There's so many more choices for people, and if you just do something that you do well, you know, people will tell other people about it, and that's how you build a career.
Exactly. So basically, you put your music out on all the different outlets, whether it's digital or the few places that still have CDs, the few CDs.
Yeah, I mean, I think a CD. I mean, you know, our CDs are sold at Walmart and sold it in those like stores that still carry, but it's a very, very small percentage of risk versus reward. I mean, less than 30%, I guess, of all is now on something physical, you know. Right. So, you know, most people are just buying or through streaming and everything. You know, I don't pretend to know all about that shit, but what I do know is how to write some music and put it out there.
Right. That's the main thing. Leave that to somebody else, right?
Well, yeah. The Jaren's of the world. Jaren's my right-hand guy.
So he does that. You write the music and let him handle the promotion and stuff like that.
No, but yeah, I'm smart enough to know that a good leader knows his strengths and his weaknesses and allocates appropriate people that can do the job better. You know, so I don't pretend to be able to do all jobs well. I actually know very well what I'm good at and what I'm not, and I just try to find people within my team that fill those slots better, the other slots better.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't ask of anybody something that I wouldn't do myself.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
So do you have any place that you haven't performed at, that you would love to perform at?
I'm sure there's a million places around the world that I would love to be. But I've been fortunate enough to, tour around the world. I'd love to get into more, just like, I like just, the traveling part and the seeing it from the point of view as you were requested, your presence was requested there to perform. So people, it's part of the great thing about it is just that, when you're visiting a country that you've never visited before, as a tourist, that's great, fantastic, wonderful. But if you're visiting a country that you've never visited before, in which people of that country are fans of your music and already excited that you're there, is a whole different experience and basically very perky. There's a lot of perks to it. And I've gotten to experience amazing things that couldn't be bought with any amount of money.
Right. So do you have plans to do anything overseas in the near future? I mean, I know COVID has changed a lot.
I go where my trusted booking agent, Chuck Burnout of many years, Chuck is a friend of the band. He's been our agent for a long time. And basically, he knows us. He basically knows. He's like, these guys just like to play. They want to be on the road. They want to earn their income. But of course, if there's some guys like, hey, you want to play in Egypt or wherever, we're the first ones to say yes. I mean, pending there's no major conflict there, we'll go anywhere, and we'll do it with a smile too.
Right. So yeah. I would suffice it to say that if I asked you, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I try not to think that far ahead, honestly. I'm one of those people that I already have a tendency to be stuck in my own head just because I'm a very pensive person. And more so than ever, I try to live in the moment. And really, it's the only thing that's real in life, and it's the moment. And I try to be in it, But so in 10 years, I don't know. But I know that one thing that will remain constant is that my goal is always to be happy. So in 10 years, should I be on this earth? Should I not? Who knows? Doesn't matter. But I know that the only thing I can tell you is I'll be striving for happiness.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what we all do.
Okay. So now, you had mentioned Facebook as a way that fans can find you. So you have a Facebook page. Do you have a regular website as well?
I mean, I'm sure there's multiple forms, but I mean, the people who want to find us, they can just Google Tantric, and literally a smorgasbord of different things will appear, So yeah, Facebook is one of them. I mean, just, Google Tantric dates, there's several places.
Okay. So now you were recently in our neck of the woods on January 22nd when you played the Gin Mill in Allentown.
Yes. That was a fun show. I love that place. Okay.
You have plans to come back soon?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I love that place. It seems like we always sell it out when we play there, so people like us and we like them. And we got more and more roots there now because having even more guys based on that end of the country. So yeah. Oh yeah, we'll come anytime. PA is cool with me.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that. Hopefully,
thank you. Thank you.
Next time we're in town.
And thank you for the adventurous time. And I know that it's kind of hard to get a hold of me, but thank you for doing the interview, and I appreciate that. And to all your listeners out there, thank you for the support.
Thank you very much, Hugo. It was great talking to you, and you have a great night.
Yeah, please. God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Music 101 with your host, Alexxis Steele. Sponsored by Steel Notes Magazine. You can find them at the web, folks, at www.steelnotesmagazine.com.